Hello everyone, this is Kimberly. Welcome back to Fable Stan, and I'm really excited about today's topic because today's topic is how much should you be paying your artist as a decorator. So this video is for you if you're a decorator, if you're an aspiring decorator, if you're looking into hiring an artist or working with an artist. This video is going to be about the logistical sides and some of the considerations you need to have when it comes to hiring an artist or working with an artist. So I want to make a separate video about like how to go about finding an artist and communicating with your artist, but this video is more about just like the money aspect of things. Okay, so I think before I start the video, I really need to make it clear that this video isn't going to be about like how to haggle with your artist, or how to find the cheapest artist out there and how to get the best bang of your buck, because I just want to really emphasize that something I really want to stress is that you should treat your artist or your potential artist with the utmost respect. I don't encourage haggling, and I don't encourage treating your artist as a means to an end, because often we have this misconception that, oh, you just draw it, right, and then it's done, and we think of it as like an hourly rate thing. But there's just so much when it comes to creating a piece of art. There's just so many things involved, you know, the concepting, communicating with clients, getting all the materials needed, and also actually doing a thing, and then not to mention edits and things like that. So an artist works really hard to make that happen, and it's not just like, oh, they just sit down with a piece of paper or an iPad and then they just get it done. So please don't disrespect the artist you're talking to or am going to talk to. Understand where the artist is coming from, you know, always communicate, respect the rate. Okay, so with that out of the way, I just feel like I really need to say that for my fellow artists. I mean, I'm a decorator and I've worked with my wonderful artist, Celia, but I just feel like I'm also an artist myself, and I've done similar kind of commission work before, and I just feel like respect is so important in establishing a work relationship. Okay, but that's for another video, right? You're here for the logistics. When it comes to the rate and when it comes to how much you should be paying your artist, there's a lot of factors at play. There's many things to consider. There's just not a copy and paste answer. There isn't like a standard going rate. Generally speaking though, you can expect at least $3,000 American and going up from there. And usually for a deck, it's between $3,000 to $6,000, but this really depends on your artist and also the nature of your working relationship. Like, are you collaborating? Are you commissioning? So there's just many things to consider. But here is the breakdown, right? And also this list is not exhaustive. I don't know everything. This is just based on my knowledge and my experiences and working with an artist. So the first thing you want to consider when it comes to the rate of your artist and how much they're charging and how much you're paying is the medium. So the art medium thing would be things like, is it in watercolor? Is it an oil painting? Is it like a digital painting? You know, if it's going to be done on an iPad or Photoshop, or is this some kind of paper mache, or is it like sculpture, or is it pencil, like colored pencil or things like that? So you want to consider the medium because it really changes the rate that you're paying. For example, watercolor generally dries faster and it's I think cheaper. Don't quote me on that. I don't know all of the art materials, just my general understanding. I know watercolor dries faster, it takes less time to complete compared to say like an oil painting. And that is not to say watercolor is like super easy. Every art style has its different challenges. You want to consider the medium of the art. It factors into the time it takes and just also how expensive the materials are when it comes to replenishing the artistic supply. So you want to consider the art medium. The second thing you want to consider is the complexity of the art. So the more complex the art is, the more details it has, the more, you know, the more layering, the more backgrounding, the more character concepting that requires, then it's going to be more expensive, obviously, because it requires the artist's expertise, it requires their time, and it requires a lot of back and forth communication, generally speaking. So the more complex the art, the more expensive it's going to be, or the higher the rate is going to be. So the third thing you want to consider is the copyright. Are you purchasing the copyright from the artist right from the get-go? Is there like a commission or like what's it called? Does your artist earn commission for each deck sell? Depending on the copyright situation, an artist might want to charge a little less upfront and get like commission down the road for each deck you sell, or maybe they want some partial profit from your Kickstarter campaign. So it really depends on your arrangement with your artist, or your artist might just want to do this as a commission, or you might want to purchase their work and along with the rights, so they might charge more upfront, so then they will be selling their copyrights to you. So this is something to be worked worked out with your artist and to something to be figured out together. Another thing you need to consider when it comes to the rate of your artist is the availability of your artist. Some artists are working full-time, they are taking on commissions all the time, so they may not have time to squeeze in like a deck project, because let's face it, a deck project is pretty daunting. Usually takes about a year and a half, 2 years, sometimes even more, depending on the type of art and the type of project. So depending on the availability of the artist, they may want to charge more because they have less time, their time is more precious. So yeah, scheduling and availability is another factor when it comes to the rate of which you're paying. I'm just trying to vary my vocabulary here. And another thing you need to consider when it comes to the rate of your artist is prestige, because some artists are bigger names, and if you want to reach out to them to see if they want to make a deck with you or do commission work for you, then they might charge more because they have more visibility, they have a bigger platform, or they're just kind of like the previous point, they have commissions lined up. So in order for them to tempt them or to get them to commit a project like a deck, which usually involves, if you're making an oracle deck, 50 plus cards or close to 50 or maybe 30 depending on the deck. And if it's a tarot deck, then it's 78 cards plus the cover, maybe plus some additional artwork. Prestige is something you consider. If you want to reach out to like a big ass artist name, then of course they're going to charge more. And yeah, another very important thing to think about is the nature of your working relationship. I kind of mentioned this at the beginning of the video. Are you collaborating with an artist? Is there mutual creative input? Are you doing this together as two people coming together to work on a project together? Because I've seen working relationships like this. The artist in this case might not charge up front. It might be like it might be a collective like mutual effort where maybe you complete the deck together and then you fund the Kickstarter together and then you're in this journey together and then you split the profit, things like that. So that's one way of doing it. Or are you doing commission work? Are you paying the artist for their skill, their expertise, and their particular kind of style? Are you commissioning them to draw for you? So that's a different kind of working relationship. And this is something that you want to figure out, like how do you want to work with them? What do you expect from them? How much work do you expect them to do? Do you want like edits after? Oh yeah, that's another thing, editing. Sometimes artists would charge for edits or extra edits. Depending on the artist might say like, okay, when I do this piece of commission work, you're entitled to 2 edits, or you're entitled to 1 edit, or you're entitled to 15 minutes of editing. It really depends on the individual artist. Again, no copy and paste answers here. But yeah, like the relationship that you're gonna have with your artist is also factors into like the rate that you're going to be charged. Yeah, so this is something that you need to talk about with your artist, and it really depends on how you arrange things with your artist, and also depends on how the artists work. Different artists have different boundaries, different going rates, different methods of kind of approaching their client, and you as a decorator may have a number in mind. You might have a budget. So this is something that you can work out with your artist. Like, I think negotiation is important, mutual respect is important. As long as you're being openly communicative and you're taking like mutual best interest at heart and figuring out the details, I think it will be fine, But yeah, there are just so many things that you need to consider when it comes to, that factors into the rate of your artist. And you can pay the artist by commission or by per card, or you can pay the artist per project, or there's different arrangements you can make, right? Like I said, this is something you need to work out with your artist, where you can pay by card, you can pay by every few cards, you can pay by the project, you can pay lesser upfront and share profit. Say if you crowdfund, right, share profit from a Kickstarter or share commissions. That's called commissions, right? It's like if you earn like a percentage back from each deck sale. And there are some commissions, so there's just different ways of like going about it. It's like, to say you have less budget in the beginning, you can make an arrangement with your artist and say like, hey, this is the money I have, I can pay you this much for each card, but when I found this on Kickstarter, you get say 20% of the profit or 30% or whatever, that you think is suitable. As you're negotiating all these details, it is important to have a contract with your artist. I think some artists will have a contract for themselves or for their clients, and some artists don't, so it really depends. But it's important, I think. It's just so important to have a contract to protect you and protect your artist, and to have a clear platform for both of you to communicate and to make sure that you sort of hash all the details in the beginning, so you don't have any confusion down the road, so everything's really clear. And there's just like a lot of good templates online when it comes to like a commission contract. So this is something that you have to look into depending on the nature of your working relationship, but always have a contract, because this protects your interest. It also protects your artist's interest, and this is also like a great baseline for communicating like what you need from each other, figure out what the work entails for both of you. So yeah, I think this is somewhat of a quick video, and I hope this video has helped you sort of just have a better headway when it comes to like paying your artist, finding an artist, figuring out the rate with your artist, or figuring out your budget. I guess in closing, I just want to say that again, I want to emphasize that your artist isn't like a means to an end. I hope when you're looking for an artist, you're really looking for someone to embark on this amazing creative journey together, because I do believe art has a soul. Your artist would be channeling the soul of your deck. So you want to choose someone who is really aligned with your self-expression, with what the deck needs. Yeah, and also just really remember that you're creating a deck, and this is something that's going to be permanent, right? This is something that's going to represent you. I mean, you could always update your deck and tweak your deck and like update the art and everything, but like think about it as like investing in your art, and also investing from a marketing perspective, investing in a product, because you want to invest and create something that's high quality, and that's something that really matches your vision for the deck. You want to really invest in a deck. You want to make the deck the best version possible, and to do that, you kind of have to honor that vision, and you have to honor the artist's vision and honor their skills and capabilities and their boundaries. I know I'm sounding like a little protective of the artist. I am. I just feel like the majority of the people have a misconception when it comes to artists. It's just like, oh, they just draw it, right? It's like, how hard can that be? I'm sure you're not thinking that, but I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of work, and you know, like the artist has to communicate with you, they have to like purchase materials, they have to spend time on it, they have to concept, they have to work with you, check with you, and make sure that it's perfect and that they're executing your vision, and etc. And if you're collaborating, well, obviously that's a different story, but you know, yeah. So I hope I covered everything when it comes to logistics, at least the money side of things when it comes to hiring an artist. And if you have any other questions, leave it down in the comments below and I'll address it, or make another video to address it. Or if you have any other questions about decoration, also leave me a comment below and I'll see if I can put in the video. I do have plans to make more videos about decoration, so this is kind of like my first one. Not the first one. I've made some other decoration videos before, but this one is specifically about working with an artist and when it comes to how much you're paying an artist. I hope you find your artist. I hope you find someone amazing to work with. I'm always very lucky to have found Celia LaBelle to illustrate my Way of the Panda Tarot and also Way of the Panda Oracle that's upcoming. It's just always so awesome to find someone who can really channel your vision and help you manifest your vision. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find this video helpful, and until next time, stay tuned and make sure to follow and subscribe if you want to see more tarot related content and also more decoration content. And I will see you next time.